to another episode of The Chinlock, DigitalDailyFix.com's weekly episodic wrestling podcast.
The longest one.
On Spreaker.com. I, of course, am Smitty, joined by the usual crew of Helmick, Tim, and Howard.
You messed my name up.
No. I messed
He messed mine up.
Does that mean that you're not going to debut this week? You're going to wait until I get your name right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
You gotta breathe the. You gotta breathe the O.
You gotta breathe the O. Oh, what?
I'll just debut next week.
Okay, that's fine. All right then. Well, it's a three-man show tonight.
I'm lonely.
But
lonely.
I'm lonely and sadly alone.
I'm so lonely. Yet another episode that takes place during the road to WrestleMania, and there will actually be a decent amount of stuff to talk about as it pertains to WrestleMania matches, which is always decent. So, and then more exciting news from the world of NXT, and I'm sure somebody watched SmackDown, so.
You would be correct, sir.
Yeah.
Timothy watched it.
I did.
Actually, I did too. And I even watched it on Friday.
I drank booze on Friday.
I did that too.
Did you drink a bucket of booze?
It was not a bucket of booze. It was several Scotch glasses of booze.
I was say, did you drink a Blue Bomber?
No, I didn't have a Blue Bomber. And as much as I would like to, I'm not going to make the Blue Blazer joke either.
Not related.
Just gonna put that out there.
Yeah, well, I know it's still too soon.
Yep.
Well, sometimes you just got to get over it.
Just like talking about Andre's death. Too soon.
Too soon.
Poor Andre. Taken from the world much too quickly.
Anybody want a peanut?
Anybody want... Hey, Greg Khali, I'm Andre the Giant. Hey, Andre the Giant, I'm Greg Khali.
In fairness, I could actually understand Andre the Giant compared to Greg Khali.
Yeah. The only time it was like a little tough was during Princess Bride. I thought it, like every now and then he had like a word or two that was kind of tough to keep track of. But, you know. At least he could actually hold long conversations, unlike the Great Khali, who basically can just say, "My sister's a bitch." So.
And drink a lot while doing it.
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? Nowadays, all he's good for is dancing. Just ask Mark Henry.
And Mark Henry's right.
Yeah.
I thought we were still talking about Andre.
No. Well, Andre never said my sister's a bitch, so.
No, but Andre did like to drink a lot. And drink people under the table.
Well, man can hold his liquor. He was almost 8 feet tall. So, big dude.
Big dude.
But he has nothing to do with anything going forward on this show. So.
Or does he? No, he doesn't.
All right, well, let's just get the ball rolling.
All right. No! Ball is rolled.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, for a story that only Helmick cares about. You remember Jesse Sorensen, Helmick?
I do!
Remember that terrible neck injury he suffered about a year ago?
I do.
Well, apparently he's not wrestling anymore, as he's now a member of TNA's offices as a marketing production assistant. So, wrestling career over.
Well, he'll probably end up making more money in the front office and have a much longer run, so good for him.
Unless this move was just for TNA to look like a merciful company, and then when people forget, he's fired.
Maybe so. It'll probably still be a better run than what he would have had as a wrestler there.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame. He was a really good wrestler. I have seen some of his matches, and I do care enough to find out if a young guy is unable to return to the ring. He goes right up there with Matt Cappotelli, who was a top prospect for the E in OVW, and due to brain injuries had to retire. Or was it brain injury or brain cancer? It was
he had a brain tumor, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, now, luckily, the guy has had his tumor removed, and I don't know if he's capable of wrestling.
I don't know. I don't know all the whole backstory behind it.
Yeah, I'm a little behind on Cappotelli, but it's unfortunate that Sorensen is just now a behind-the-scenes guy. I mean, I know that they were confident early on that he was going to return, and they had him make like 1 or 2 appearances with the neck brace as like, I'm coming back. But hopefully, at the very least, he's able to live a comfortable life. So.
Yeah, I mean, and when something like that happens, it really puts a lot of things into perspective. Yeah, I mean, like we come on here, we talk about like these guys, like this guy sucks, or this guy can't work, or whatever it is. But I mean, the fact of the matter is that all those guys are really risking serious injury anytime they step out there. So I wish him all the best. I hope he can help. I hope he can help the company in some way, and hopefully they can help him in the process.
Indeed.
All right. For those who care, again, Vince McMahon blew up backstage during the CM Punk John Cena match on Raw, where essentially
was he in his
blew
limo?
up. Not that kind of blow up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right, what kind of blow up was it?
Apparently got really upset because Punk hit Cena with a pile driver, considering that move hadn't been done and had been banned in WWE because the potential danger for a performer's neck, and Vince was mad that the move was used, but nobody's expecting anything to come of it. But Vince McMahon just throwing one of his temper tantrums.
That was actually one of my favorite spots in the match.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was a cool spot, and especially since, because it's been used so rarely, and the announcers sold it like it was death.
Exactly.
But, I actually do get where Vince is coming from here, because, when you have, certain, rules and things that you don't want guys to do out there, and if you specifically talk to them about that, and then they go out and do it, I can see where, he wouldn't be happy about that, but at the same time, I think he's kind of painted himself into a corner with some of these upper card guys with kind of letting this whole swagger thing pass over. So I wouldn't be surprised if you were to see these guys start to, do a little bit more stuff outside the lines between now and Mania.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get worked up over Vince's reaction. I mean, if you ban something, it's appropriate to be kind of upset with it, but considering the fact of who did it, Punk is a very good wrestler. He has no track record of ever injuring anybody, to my knowledge. I'm sure it was a spot that both him and Cena talked about and approved. I'm sure it was, well, if you want to do your horrible Hurricane Rana, I want to do a pile driver. Though, in a quick rebuttal as far as that goes, even though it was pretty bad, I give plenty of props to Cena for even doing it. But I just like the whole spot because it came at a time in the match where Punk was in desperation mode because he had hit Cena with everything else, and he was kicking out and he was getting out of submissions, and the match was already like about 10 minutes in or more, and so he busts out an illegal move. The announcers lose their minds, and then Cena somehow kicks out, because I know there was also a lot of backlash, at least from fans or people on forums, saying like, oh, if it's a banned move, if it's used, people shouldn't kick out of it. And it was like, even when that move was a regular move, it was hardly ever a finisher. And my
Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, well, yeah. Even when he used it, I mean, it was like he's the one example. But even in his WWE days, when he used it, it didn't always finish matches. And if people can kick out of the tombstone, then people can kick out of the regular pile driver. At least that's my mentality of it.
In fairness, Jerry Lawler, his WWE run as a wrestler was pretty much a joke anyway.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was nothing like his prime run in Memphis and everything. But so I'm not. That wasn't a shot at Lawler.
No. But I was just pointing that out.
Yeah. But no, I thought I thought it was cool. I mean, there was a lot of things I liked about that match. I actually think that was one of the best matches between those two. I felt they really hit home the whole fact that match was for a spot on WrestleMania. So,
Yeah, I think that's the unanimous match of the week.
yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't vote any other match.
Well, you didn't see NXT this week,
I did not.
so.
So
But
am I still right in saying that there's no other...
Yeah, oh yeah, but but you still haven't seen NXT.
It is true. I did not see it.
Yeah.
All accurate. What else we got?
Let's see. Hold on, I just lost my place here. MVP has finished his dates up in Japan and is apparently open to returning, whether it be to wrestling at WWE or TNA, but mostly so he can work on a TV project that he has with Lionsgate. There aren't any real details about it, but MVP is no longer working with New Japan. That's the big news.
Is that really big news?
It is when the Adventures of Sentai debuts on ABC this fall. Because he's going to be a guy who went to Japan and became a big star, and now he's trying to make it big in the States. And he's going to have the Japanese characters written on his body, so people will know that he's a Japanese warrior.
I'm pretty sure it's just a Sushi Mania.
The show's going to take place in a sushi bar.
I mean,
It's going to be a drama.
it's ABC family drama.
Adventures of Sentai.
Right there right there.
And Takamoto.
It's
Yeah.
it's the lead in the Pretty Little Liars.
Yeah. Oh.
Huh?
Gate better follow through on this now.
Exactly. I mean, with his primary focus being on a TV show right now, I honestly wouldn't expect him on a wrestling show probably until like the end of the year or maybe the beginning of next. Because like if you get hardcore into it and you get studio execs like buying in and wanting and making demands, like TV tapings, especially for a new show, like that can take a lot of time. Like, it take a lot of your free time, and it can take a while before anything comes of it. So, but I think when he does come back, I think he's gonna be in the WWE.
That's our hope, at least.
Or he's the leader of Aces and Eights.
Well, I was gonna say if you don't think he's gonna be back in the ring until like December, he could be back just in time to be unmasked as the leader of Aces and Eights at Final Resolution.
You think it's gonna take that long?
Sure. Let him
Damn.
run another whole year with it.
God, I just
I base this on nothing, but
yeah.
that's what I would do. Well, that's what I would think. I could see them doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I just read some of the stuff that they've done, for the whole Aces and Eights angle, and it's like every now and then they do something that makes sense, and then there's a lot of things that they've done and then just dropped. Like, you could tell it was like ideas that they just kind of threw out there and then never wanted to develop. Just weird stuff because that's been going on for so long. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like, I like the callback to Eric Young. Like, I like that. I like the fact that they are like, he got his ass beat at the expiration of his contract as a way to write him off if he wasn't going to re-sign, and now that he's re-signed, he's the last member of Team Sting. I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool, it's a cool callback. It's a cool reference to something that happened, like, I want to say at the very least 2 months ago. So I like stuff like that. I don't like random things like Taz at the swerve at the wedding, because he's not on commentary anymore, is he?
He is.
He is? Okay.
Not much has changed. He just, talks up aces and eights when need be.
Okay. I just, like, that was kind of weird, and Joseph Park is in it, then he's not, then he's in it, then he's not. I think now, I don't even think he's still involved in it, is he? He's just wrestling every now and then?
I'm pretty sure he's going to somehow get involved. I don't know how yet.
Yeah, he'll probably swerve.
Did he ever find his brother?
No, they dropped that.
Awesome.
They dropped that like a fucking ton of bricks.
That's the one thing I wanted them to just drop and never mention again.
That is TNA's most recent Black Hummer.
Awesome.
Because my thing is, if you're gonna write something for television, and you're gonna go a few weeks in, or like a month, 2 months in, and then like you just run out of ideas, you should learn to then not write anything unless you have a finish for it. Like, say, this is where I want it to start, this is where I want it to end. I don't have a middle yet, so this could run for a couple weeks, it could run for a couple months, as long as we keep putting together good ideas to lead up to this end.
That's how they wrote it.
They wrote it. That's how the end
give them
was
a little bit
dropping
more
it, huh?
Give it a little bit more credit. They wanted it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna have this thing, and then you're just gonna forget it.
They're just like, all right, guys, look, we're on a good roll. We got a lot of good things going right now. So we're due for something really odd on television. We're due to just randomly drop an angle. We're due to make a swerve that doesn't make sense. We're due to push a guy that nobody wants to see on TV. What do we got? Well, that Joseph Park thing, we kind of had an ending for it, but how about we just drop it? Well, what do you mean? Well, it's just the whole him and Abyss being brothers, let's just make it go away. It's like, well, will he still play both characters? No. Oh, so Abyss is coming back? No. he's
Not
Joseph.
yet, at
He's
least.
Joseph Park. Yeah,
That's all right. I like Joseph Park more than Abyss anyway.
Part of me wants the leader of Aces and Eights to be Abyss.
Should be.
Then I want to see TNA try to work up a feud where Joseph Park is on one side and Abyss is on the other.
Oh man, you know what?
I don't see how hard that would be, considering they're brothers. They're not the same person.
You know what you could do, Brian? You could send Dixie Carter the DVD box set of Twin Peaks, and then that shit would happen.
James Storm is not going to make that match. I got a feeling.
Oh, you think he's going to be taken out before the cage match?
Because he's the only one who doesn't work for that match right now, right? And in fairness, he's actually doing nothing at this point.
Isn't he? Well, what, at the most, he's like running out to help fight people?
He wasn't even doing that.
He doesn't even run out and fight Aces and Eights? He's just like...
He hasn't done anything involving Aces and Eights.
He's just like, I'll wait to the pay-per-view, it's fine.
In fact, he hasn't done anything since, his match with Bobby Roode at Bound for Glory.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, wait, that's right. He won the number one contendership and lost it to Bobby Roode following it. I forgot about that.
Let's stop talking about TNA because I'm going to remember who the world champion is.
Oh, you mean Jeff Hardy?
Oh.
Womp womp.
Hey,
wah, wah.
hey, at least Rob Van Dam is no longer X Division champion.
That's true.
Yeah, I had to sing that to the moon when it happened.
Which means better days are coming.
Uh,
That's step one.
Next week's pay-per-view.
Yeah, there you go. Guess we'll find out then.
Yeah, this entire show is the future of the entire show is going to hinge on what happens next week for at least 2 months.
Yeah, it really will, because there's no way that title's changing on an Impact. I don't see it.
No.
Or it'll change the first Impact after the pay-per-view.
Nothing would surprise me at this point.
Yeah.
All right, I'm done with TNA this week.
Yeah, let's move on.
All right. For those who love The Undertaker, apparently rumors going around that he's going to make his return at this Monday's episode of Old School Raw. Apparently, the rumor match between him and Punk got started this past week when CM Punk cut the promo of being above every superstar and God. Was intended to get the ball rolling for the feud. But as we all know, God would just no-show.
I did, like, hearing that part of his promo, I did think, like, the first thought in my head was, that sounds like a dig at The Undertaker. That sounds like something that could evolve into a dig at The Undertaker.
See, I was almost expecting Ric Flair to come out and then be like, no, you're not God, I'm God. Woo!
Yeah, I do remember that.
I am the God. Woo!
I hope he's in good ring shape.
Oh, he is in good shape. He's a very well-rounded shape.
Oh well, no, I'm not.
As in, he's fat.
I mean, I'm not.
That one blurry picture of him, with his stomach sticking out slightly. Yeah, he's in terrible shape. He's so fat.
Well, that's the great vision.
He looks like Uncle Fester.
That's just another notch in the belt of greatness that is the internet wrestling crowd. That's what it is.
Yep.
And every day they do something or say something even dumber that just... I hate them. I hate them all. But as far as The Undertaker goes, obviously I'm excited for the match, and I find it funny that they're going to pull the trigger on his return at Old School Raw when some of the other reports are saying that Old School Raw is eventually going... Like, as far as WrestleMania goes, other than The Undertaker's return, it's a throwaway show.
Yeah, I was about to get to that, too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But basically the whole thing is that any of those meat and potato matches for WrestleMania, the mid-card stories, don't expect them to get started this week.
Yeah, like this is literally just going to be a focus on Old School Raw, like the stage and how they did the last one. Like,
I like that one. So I'm okay with it.
Yeah, no, I liked it too. It was really good.
It's going to be The Undertaker and The Rock. That's it. That's as far as feuds and storylines, those are the ones taking place this week.
Yeah, because Jericho won't be back till next Monday. So.
Well, are we going to get Tugboat on this Raw?
No, you're going to get Shockmaster.
Well, all right, I'll settle for that.
At least we got him to settle.
That's true.
Hey, but we'll get the return of The Rock and his quote unquote worst WWE title run ever.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have no idea how many things I've read of just people like just going nuts about how it is the worst title run they've ever seen.
And what's your feelings on it?
Me? It's not a great run by any means, because it's a completely predictable one. It's one that you knew where it was going to begin and you know where it's going to end. The middle part of how they get there has been decently interesting, but like a lot of the critiques have been the fact that he's not on every Raw, he's not on any SmackDown. His matches have been lackluster. Like, they're all calling him completely out of shape because he's all sweaty and gassed at the end of matches or whatever.
It's called acting.
Yeah, and just like labeling like, oh, his reign is right up there with David Arquette's. And... Well,
it's because he's fat. That one picture of him with his belly sticking out and his bald head.
Like, the thing that drives me nuts is like I said, it's not a great run by any means, but it's not horrible because the goal of The Rock's title run is not.
It's not the means; it's the end.
Yeah, it's not to be memorable. It's not to be like Punk's. Like a lot of people are like, "Oh, why did they have to? Why did Punk have to drop it? It's an insult to Punk's reign." It's not. The point of putting the belt on The Rock is to get more exposure, because now your belt is on a champion who has a movie coming out every month of his title reign until he drops it. Like last month was Snitch. This month is G.I. Joe. He's got something else in April, or he had something in January. I don't remember. But like he's everywhere in marketing, not only in WWE but outside of it. So people are seeing their champion everywhere, on basic TV, on cable, no matter where you go, you see that champion's face. And then he's on the majority of the shows. He's not on every show, and I know a lot of people expect the champion to be on every show, but he's not. And you can kind of take that one way or the other. It doesn't really bother me too much. I think since he's been back, he's missed like maybe that was his second or maybe third Raw. So it hasn't been awful. Like that, you don't go a month without seeing him. And it would be nice if maybe he wrestled on a Raw just once. You can even hype it up as something like, "Oh, The Rock wrestles on Raw" or something, whatever. But it's a thing where they used it to get extra exposure leading up to WrestleMania, to build up the buys, to get people to notice, to get a huge payout for WrestleMania at friggin' New York, New Jersey, and then everything goes back to business as usual. The belt goes to Cena. It goes to a guy that will be there every week. They'll do whatever they decide to do with him for however long he's going to be champion, and then they'll go back to building up whoever to beat him, or if it's Punk and whatever it is. It'll go back to a regular wrestling show. There won't be any Hollywood guys. There won't be anything like that. And it just goes back to normal. Like, this isn't anything that's hurting the business. It isn't anything that's tarnishing the title. It is something to get more exposure, and then they're going to move on. And that's it. So the people that are just up in arms every week when any week that goes by that he's not on TV, or say that, oh, he shouldn't be given the belt, he doesn't deserve it and everything, The Rock doesn't have to be there. Like, he doesn't have to wrestle. Like, everybody wants to sit here and bitch that he's gassed or he looks like he's got ring rust when he's wrestling, but he doesn't have to be doing any of this. It's like everybody, like the internet wrestling crowd in pockets throughout the year, clamor for Steve Austin to return, or somebody equal to that name to have one more match, to see
like
them.
Tugboat.
Yes, Maven.
He was never eliminated from that Royal Rumble.
He wasn't. I'm still waiting for that payoff. And so they always want that one more match, whether it be Mania, whether it be wherever. They want it. They clamor for it. Yet The Rock comes back, and not only does he decide to come back and fulfill a match that people were talking about. He was the host of, this is 29. He was the host of WrestleMania 27. He wrestled WrestleMania 28. He wrestled Survivor Series. He wrestled the Royal Rumble.
But the Miz fucked up that Survivor Series.
He did fuck up that Survivor Series.
He also fucked up this past year's Survivor Series. Just saying.
Yeah, Survivor Series just isn't a good pay-per-view for the Miz. He needs to just take November off.
Yeah, he needs to stick to Summerfest. And he wrestled the Rumble. He wrestled Elimination Chamber. He wrestled a B pay-per-view. He's going to wrestle SummerSlam. He's going to wrestle WrestleMania 30. He's giving the fans 8 matches that really, they don't need to happen. It's really, it's nothing that helps The Rock, really. It's nothing that improves his stature in Hollywood. It's nothing that makes him a bigger star. He's basically doing it as a payback to the WWE for getting him to where he is now. Like it's a thank you to the company, and it's the company plotting it out as to build up special matches and to put a big deal on any time he's on TV. And he doesn't need to be there. So giving him the belt is just a way of the company saying, like, we appreciate you coming back and doing this. Here's the title for one more small run. We'll make it work. You'll drop it at Mania, and that'll be it. And it's like everybody just wants to hate it. Like, everybody is so determined to hate on it. And it's not the greatest thing in the world, but like I've said before, now and in previous conversations, it's something that he's that we're just getting. It's not anything that had to happen. And for a while, a lot of people wanted The Rock to come back, and now that The Rock's back, everybody's bitching. I actually felt that his Rumble match was all right. The finish was kind of weird, which kind of throws off the whole match itself. But I liked the Elimination Chamber match. I thought that was a good match with him and Punk. I thought their second match was good. I'm hoping that Cena and Rock put something together at WrestleMania 29 that makes that match a lot better than it was last year. And I'll look if his match at SummerSlam is Brock Lesnar, I'll look forward to it. So I don't get the hatred. I don't get the anger. The internet wrestling crowd has gotten to a point where they can't possibly sit and enjoy anything. Like, they can't be a fan anymore. It's impossible. It's like they have to have an opinion. They have to share it immediately, and like they have to be over judgmental about stuff. And it drives me insane. It's like they can't just sit and watch the product and just let it develop the way it does. It has to be scrutinized at every level, and it's not done in any way that's constructive. It's just a bunch of people saying things are stupid, this guy's old, worst ever. It's never any constructed opinions. Even on the journalism level, even with guys writing for WrestleZone, it's not even professional on that level. It's still petty marks bitching and complaining in articles for a site that they get paid for. Like, they're getting paid to bitch and complain. And it drives me insane. Like, I don't understand how their Facebook pops up for a wrestling site, and they say one week that it's completely insensitive for fans to make fun of Alberto Del Rio for his botched spot at the Rumble match where he missed the kick, yet completely bury John Cena for missing a move like 2 weeks later. I don't understand it. Especially when it's on a professional level. So my thing would be, instead of bitching every time The Rock isn't on Raw or has a match where he gets all sweaty and gross in 10 minutes in, how about you just watch and see where things go?
All right.
Well, good night then.
All right.
I said well said, but then I realized my mic was on mute.
Yeah,
I didn't want to stop. I didn't want to stop him if he was taking a breath.
Oh no, that was me. That was me done. It's all good.
Yeah, it's just the type of typical thing where you get people who can never be happy, and the only time they're happy is when they're not happy and can complain about something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the thing is, like, those people, they're still going to watch the show every week no matter what. So they can bitch all they want, but these things aren't being targeted at them. They're not being written for them. So the only thing they can do is what I did with TNA. That's to stop watching.
Yeah. And they're not going to do that because, in all honesty, the overall product for WWE is decent right now. Like, it's not great, but I feel like at least recently they've been doing more things right than they have done wrong.
Hey, even Mark Madden said it was okay.
Yeah, Mark Madden wrote an article, I think that came out today on WrestleZone, where he's like, yeah, the product is actually pretty decent. The thing that really hurts him right now is there's going to be things that suck on Raw because Raw is 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's too long.
Way too long.
And I mean, I can tell you, like, now that it's been months of 3-hour Raws, it is. I mean, there's entire matches or entire spots that we just fast forward because it's just like, ugh, like, I don't care.
Yep, that's why I have not watched a single Raw on Monday since they've started this.
Well, we watch it. I'm sorry, go on.
I mean, everything that I've done has been, I will DVR it, and then the next day I'll go through and just fast forward through all the superfluous crap and all the commercials and stuff, and I can watch that 3-hour show in about an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. I mean, we watch it on Mondays, but we don't watch it right at the start of 8 o'clock.
Oh no, you can't. I mean,
yeah, like we actually probably start around between 8:30 and 9. Because we're recording Digital Reload, but also just to give us time to be able to fast forward through some commercials, maybe some early segments that are just whatever. Because at the end of the day, it's 3 hours. I mean, it's nice to get young guys on the screen. Like, I'm sure that helps somebody. I'm sure there are a few guys that are on those Raws that if there wasn't that extra hour, they wouldn't be on there. But then there's also a lot of stuff that you can tell they're like, oh, shit, just throw this out there and run with it for like the next 15 minutes because we got spots to fill. So, but I mean, overall the product isn't bad. I mean, and that's usually what happens during WrestleMania season. WWE kind of ups their game, and then the real test is after WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So, anything else for news? We got more stuff?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
For those who love Saturday Morning Slam, they're doing a GM search where Booker T's going to assist with picking out a GM for the show. They got Mick Foley being their interim GM, but candidates include R-Truth, Dolph Ziggler, Kofi Kingston, Zack Ryder, Daniel Bryan, and Damian Sandow. There's supposed to be 8, I guess, but from the reports that I saw, it was 6, and those are the 6 names that came up. So with R-Truth, you can have segments with Little Jimmy, if they can find him, because he hasn't been seen on TV since R-Truth's return.
Missing persons report for Little Jimmy.
Dolph could teach children how to show off.
And steal girlfriends.
Yes. And Kofi Kingston could run a PE course. Daniel Bryan can teach them how to be dazzling. Yeah, I think you get what I'm saying. Damian Sandow obviously can teach the ignorant youth of this generation some culture and refinement. And Zack Ryder will be Zack Ryder.
So now do you get why I said once hearing the other people, it's a gimme that Zack Ryder's winning?
Yeah. But, I could actually see Kobe Johnston doing pretty good in that role, too. Yeah, I think it would give him a place to work on his talking a little bit, and and kids like him because he never stops moving. He jumps around a lot, but yeah, I think you're right. It's gonna be Ryder, but I would personally really like to see Kobe Johnson or Sandow in that role.
I honestly would like for them to make Mick just the permanent GM. I think he could be really good as a GM for a kids show.
Yeah, but I don't know if Foley's going to be around long term. I mean, if they're going to be looking for a guy to be in this role for a year or so, week in, week out. I mean, again, I watch Saturday Morning Slam maybe once a month. So,
Mhm.
Should be Zack Ryder,
and I'm sure it will be.
and then Kane can come out after he's been doing okay for a while and just push him down some stairs.
Yeah.
That's all I got for news.
All right. Well, like we were saying earlier, Raw definitely was a show more focused on pushing the main matches for WrestleMania. And they kicked it off right away with the Vince McMahon, Paul Heyman segment, which I was surprised with. I actually thought they would have waited till like the end of hour 1, maybe hour 2.
Yeah, I was surprised I'm glad they opened with this, but I was kind of surprised.
Yeah. But Vince McMahon and Paul Heyman kind of have, their little back and forth. Paul Heyman comes out with a much cockier attitude than last week. Makes some Tony Romo and Dallas Cowboy jokes, which I can never get enough of.
Me neither.
I know that's also because that's where they are.
No, I know that. I know that's where they were.
I know. I just pointed it out.
Okay. He gored Vince McMahon. And
none of us in the room yelled gore. Heyman with the gore.
No. And well, I mean, we didn't. And then they had the retaliation, which finally brought out Brock Lesnar and confirmed what we've known for a while, that his match at Mania is him and Triple
Bobby
H.
Roode.
Yeah, him and Triple Bobby Roode H. But I give Triple H some credit. He is jacked as hell. And that fight between the two of them was really good.
Yeah, it was a great opening to the show. There was some blood here, which I thought was really. I know it looked like Lesnar took that hard way.
He did.
Which I think really helped add to that brawl. It was a really good way to open the show. It was a good way to get some interest generated for their match. I mean, I'm still not really interested in seeing this match again, but I understand why they're doing it. And it's going to be the match that'll sell the most for both of these guys, as far as tickets and buy rates and all that are concerned. So,
and if they continue to push it this way, I'll be all right with it.
Yeah, like the confrontation there really kind of made it okay to forget a little bit that they've already wrestled, and I wasn't really all that interested at first.
As long as their feud's like it's going to be a fight, I think that'll help a lot.
Yeah, I really.
Yeah, well, Triple H is defending.
It'll be a one-on-one, first fall to a finish.
Well, Triple H is defending his pop, so I'm sure it's going to be, more on the intense side.
Yeah, I would like to see this match get a falls count anywhere, or maybe a last man standing, or that kind of stipulation.
Or a New York street fight.
New York, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Or I guess in this case it'd be New York, New Jersey street fight.
Yeah.
Which is really just Northern Jersey.
But I like this so far. I hope they continue to push it that way. And it is completely confusing me how WWE got Brock Lesnar's return so wrong the first time, and so far they're getting it really right.
Because they're booking him the way that he should have been booked from the get-go, instead of just trying to, swerve people or put one over on people.
Yeah, he's not cutting long, drawn-out promos where he runs out of things to say.
But he does know the feeling that I'm feeling.
Oh man, those feelings that I'm feeling are really feeling.
I do need more contract negotiations involving Brock Lesnar.
I don't. Do you?
I have some changes that I like to have changed.
But I like this return, because every week he's coming out and beating the shit out of somebody, and I felt with this fight, even though Brock Lesnar was left bleeding, I still felt this fight kind of was a draw. Like they both got some good shots in.
Yeah, and it wasn't like Lesnar was carried on a stretcher or
No,
in an ambulance or anything like that. So no, it was it was good stuff.
yeah. So overall, a good start to their feud. I'm curious to see how it develops, and I think with this coming Raw, Triple H is expected to be there, but Brock Lesnar is not. I think. So that if they want to add a stipulation, I think this week might be a good week to do it. Since you're not going to have a confrontation between the two, maybe have Triple H come out and go at it with Paul Heyman and get like some sort of stipulation. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe like a wet jeans on a pole match.
Yeah. There you go. Water bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'd be fine.
Let's see. Dolph Ziggler gets buried by Ryback.
Man, yeah. You remember when that guy used to win matches?
Yeah, I don't get it, man. I mean, I'm sorry. Go on.
I don't know. They've done this with Money in the Bank winners before.
See Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
They definitely did, but I feel like this is the longest that they've done it with somebody.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of getting to the point where
you're losing interest.
I'm losing interest, and I honestly am getting the impression that, like, you know what? I feel like he's just going to be the first guy that his contract just expires. Like, he's going to reach the 1 year mark, and it's just going to go away. Because they really don't know what to do with him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But this is one guy who I think has really been kind of killed by the calendar in this case because they've been spending so much time focusing on all their, on their main event card, that their low card and their upper mid card, everything else is just being completely ignored. And unfortunately, he's just falling into that category.
Yeah. Donald Trump is announced as the celebrity inductee for the Hall of Fame this year.
Boo!
Yeah, I know, like, the rumor was him or Cyndi Lauper. I was kind of pulling for Cyndi Lauper more, but I like the package that they put together for him. I like the whole thing. It was like, oh yeah, he was the first, like, he was one of the first big guys to really support the WWE. He hosted WrestleMania 4 and 5. It was kind of out of all the celebrities they've had in there so far that they've inducted, I feel like he's made the most sense.
He's one of them. Makes no sense.
Yeah, because he's literally invested into WWE as a business.
Yeah. Right next to Pete Rose.
And he did own Raw for a week.
He did. And he made it rain $50 and $100 bills on the fans.
Now they need both Cyndi Lauper and Mr. T.
That would be awesome. I would like that a lot.
Mr. T's going to be a hard one to get, though.
Why is that?
Because he's not a fan of the fact that Pete Rose is in their Hall of Fame.
Well, I'm sure dollar signs would make him forget all that. If they can get Bruno I literally believe now, if they can get Bruno Sammartino, they can get anyone.
Yeah, that kind of was the holy grail as far as that thing goes.
And that will be their argument for everyone else. Like when Lenny Poffa goes, we're not letting you induct Macho Man until you induct the whole family. They're going to go, look, Bruno Sammartino accepted. Balls in your court.
Yeah.
And your mouth.
Huh?
And your mouth.
Yeah. And like Owen Hart's wife has no concept of wrestling history, so but it's just one of those things, like when you land that guy who for the longest time everybody has said either will never be in there or will be the toughest person to get, he's in there. So let's see. Cesaro lost to Orton.
There was another great Miz TV segment.
Do we? I liked Zeb Coulter in that. once
his performance and delivery on this character is really well done. The problem is, like the stuff that he's saying is too agreeable. Like, he's too correct in what he's saying to be, like, really booed out of the building. Like, if anything, they should be really, like, ramping him up.
even to the most basic of wrestling fan.
Yeah, I think so. Because
Okay.
if you look at this segment where like Miz was just around to be annoying as shit and interrupt everything, and like while like he was making the most basic argument, Del Rio's counter argument was "You're a jackass."
Mm-hmm.
So like I don't know, it's just one of those things where I think.
I know how they can fix this.
All right, hit me with it, Timothy, because you're on the writing team.
All right. Well, no, I'm on TNA's writing team.
Yeah, but I'm
Here's
sure
what
Vince will bring you in.
Here's what you do. You get Ricardo Rodriguez deported on TV.
That would be kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And I have nothing against Rodriguez. I love Ricardo, but that would be kind of awesome. The only thing that disappointed me in this entire segment, well, one of two things. The other thing being the Miz being there.
He was there, and that was about it. He sat down for the entire segment.
Yeah, he didn't really do anything, and
until the WWE Active app, which if you don't have, but they showed you anyway.
Yeah.
Ended up having a match with Swagger.
Yeah, I mean,
anyway,
when he kept interrupting Coulter, like that was kind of getting on my nerves. It was like I wanted to hear what Coulter had to say, and then he kept interrupting him, and I'm just like, oh my god, shut up! It's like let the man talk. The only other thing that really bothered me was like every time Zeb Coulter was building up, I'm gonna say this, and you people ain't gonna like it, and I'm talking about illegals. What? I was like, I'm expecting him to drop some bomb that's going to make the entire crowd go, oh!
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think you got to, or even, he can still make those arguments, but then, blame the crowd for it.
Yeah.
Be like, you people have just been sitting around letting this happen because you're, stupid and lazy or, whatever. I think you got to do something more, than just have, than just have him talk about this, because unless you're in certain parts of the country with a high Hispanic contingency, you're gonna get kind of the reaction that they've been getting the last few weeks, where you get some boos, but for the most part it's just kind of whatever, which is disappointing because I think they could really draw a lot with this angle.
Mm-hmm.
I think the fans respect him too much because he's a veteran. They can't boo veterans.
I don't know if your average fan knows.
Now, I also thought if they got Sergeant Slaughter out there to come and agree with him, that would be awesome.
Yeah, well, especially if they're in Canada.
Especially if they're in Canada.
But yeah, that's pretty much how the segment ends. I mean, Del Rio is just like, oh, you're a jackass, and that's it. They kind of leave. I mean, Jack Swagger has just been so forgotten.
It's the Zeb Coulter show.
Yeah, it really is.
And we'll be talking more about that on SmackDown. Anyway,
let's see.
Sheamus holds the Academy Awards in the ring and talks about Wade Barrett's movie,
which actually was okay. I kind of
it was kind of fun.
Yeah, I kind of was dreading it originally, but I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I like the way Sheamus handled this more than like a babyface John Cena promo would have gotten this over. And I think it's a really unique way to promote a movie. This guy's in it. One of our wrestlers are in it. He doesn't say anything. Go watch it. I don't know, but I guess with it being a heel, it makes a little more sense. But I still just find it funny.
Yeah. Let's see. Team Hell No buried the Primetime Players.
Rest in peace, tag team division, because you're gonna need the Reanimator to come back from this.
I mean, I like Team Hell No, but damn. I mean, really?
Yeah. And this came about because Daniel Bryan and Kane were having a debate as to who was the stronger member of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And Kane said that he could beat them with... Daniel Bryan first said that he could beat them blindfolded.
Yeah.
And then Kane said he could beat them with one arm tied behind his back. And then, like Dick Dastardly and Muttley, Vicky Guerrero and Brad Maddox pop up, and they, of course, do what anybody who has watched wrestling for 20 minutes would figure they would do, and book a match where Daniel Bryan has a blindfold on, and Kane has one hand tied behind his back.
But hey, at least you know they're there.
That's true.
That's all you can say about Vicky for the past few weeks. At least you know she's there.
She's here, yeah. So,
which I actually kind of like because she's not on TV all the time.
Yeah, no, that's fine. But yeah, it was just, anybody who's a fan of the Primetime Players, you may want
Find something else.
Cool your jets for a while.
Yeah.
Or start watching Saturday Morning Slam.
There you go. You know who would be excellent GMs for Saturday Morning Slam? The Primetime Players.
The Primetime Players.
Primetime Players. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Shield is involved in a segment that completely confuses me as to what the fuck Sheamus is doing.
Still feuding with him. That's what he's doing.
Like, Sheamus comes out earlier and does the whole thing that we talked about with Wade Barrett, which was leading me to believe that maybe that's the first mid-card match they're really pushing, Wade Barrett versus Sheamus for the title.
Which I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm all right with that.
I'm not.
But now they're pushing the Shield. Like, the Shield comes out and talks about how they destroyed the two super teams, and I like that. I like that promo. And then Sheamus is the first one to come out, followed by Randy Orton, who is someone new because they were doing the whole thing of like, oh, Sheamus, who do you got? Who do you got? We already beat Jericho and Ryback and Cena. Who you got now? Which confused me because, one, the person that started this whole feud wasn't even Sheamus. It was Ryback. So I guess Ryback is just not giving a shit about the Shield anymore.
Who knows?
He's just like, I tried.
So he's eating.
Yeah. So I'm kind of confused as to whether, like, is the Shield Sheamus's Mania feud? Is it Wade Barrett? Something kind of leads me to believe now that we're coming up to old school Raw that it is Wade Barrett and Sheamus that is the Mania feud, and that this is a 6-man tag where they can hype it up by having the third man be a legend at old school Raw.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like, actually, it would make a lot of sense if it was Ric Flair.
Yeah, or Tugboat.
Or Vader.
That's true, I guess.
But
Vader came back. He came back recently, and Sid came back recently. So I got to find a new guy to carry that torch for, and it's Tugboat.
There you go.
Yeah, but
what about a King of the African Dream?
At least one of us
only if
wants
Slick
to
is
see
with
it.
him.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well.
Can the big boss man be with him?
Oh.
Even if they dig up the corpse and drag it out there.
Jesus.
Well, you know what? If you're going to go through all that work, then you might as well go ahead and bring the skyscrapers back.
All right, a Twin Towers reunion.
Twin Tower, yeah.
Ugh.
All right. So
yeah, let's get through all of this.
All right. Jack the Wagga beat the Miz.
Yeah, and that was something.
That was a thing.
And then we're already at the close of the show, which was John Cena versus CM Punk. I stated my opinions of the match kind of earlier, so I leave the discussion of this to you guys.
Well, when the
Okay.
match,
Well, I've never really disliked a Cena Punk match. I really don't think that they put on a bad match. I think that Cena can. We all knock on Cena for being stale and all that, but he can hold his own in the ring, I think. And just Punk being CM Punk, he can, he takes that and just takes it much further. And, not to knock to Cena's credit, but I thought for a free TV match, it's probably one of the best ones I'd seen in a while.
Yeah,
This year.
same here.
They pulled out, I know it sounds weird, but, they pulled out all the stops. It really seems like they did to make it feel like they were both fighting for this chance at WrestleMania. Like it felt, not to sound as real to me, damn it, but it felt like really like the story that they told in the ring was very well done. And I don't think you could have got a better match out of either one of them.
Oh no, I mean, and that was the thing, and this is the one thing that wrestling has lacked, for me for a long time, is the big fight feel. And I think that's one thing that UFC has done extremely well, even with a lot of their their lower shows, their B shows, is that you still have a feeling of of watching a big fight. And this match really had that feeling. And I think that's something that if you can start incorporating that into more of your shows, you're going to have a much more exciting product. But yeah, I mean, these guys always work really well together. So, and I was glad to see that, with it being on free TV, that they, gave us and the fans who were watching, a real finish instead of like a run-in or a DQ or, something unusual like that.
It was the kind of match that it was so good you really didn't care that Cena was the winner.
No, because again, it makes sense because you're building him up for his Mania match with Rock.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, there were maybe a few grumbles at the beginning, like, oh, he's gonna beat Punk, because you knew it was telegraphed based on the match at Mania, and him saying, "I've never beaten you." I just wish Cena would put this kind of effort into more of his matches.
I
now
agree.
you're just asking for too much.
Not every match. I mean, look, there's going to be circumstances where Cena should not put this kind of effort into a match with, like
an ambulance match with Kane.
Yeah. Or like somebody on the level of like Zack Ryder or whatever. But if he could do it for like every pay-per-view match, or just more than 3 times a year or twice a year, because I'll give the guy every credit in the world. I mean, this match was good, really good, not just because of CM Punk. It was not CM Punk carrying John Cena.
Oh, no, and I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. It was these guys and it just seems like when he's in there with Punk, John Cena is more of a risk taker. Like, he's doing moves he doesn't do. He's going at an intensity level that you just don't see in other matches. And it drives me nuts seeing that he can really step his game up, and just knowing that for the majority of the rest of this year, he's not going to put that kind of effort into his matches.
I'm going to say WrestleMania, but after that, then you're asking for too much.
But at the same time, I don't even know about WrestleMania, because I don't feel he put that kind of effort in the Rock match last year.
Fair enough.
Like, I kind of feel like last year was filled with so much bitterness because of the legitimate heat between the two of them, that it wasn't two guys out there trying to close the show with the best match possible. It was two guys that are just living to work with each other for the sake of a paycheck. So hopefully it's different this year. I mean, I hope that they squash whatever it was, and they come together saying, we got to make this match the best match possible. I hope that's what they do. Because they're probably closing the show. Actually, there's no
you mean
problem.
Dolph Ziggler wouldn't close the show?
No. He
Okay.
will probably be on the pre-show.
I know.
Or he'll be on the opening match.
Yeah, or he'll be the first to cash in at Mania. As far as Ziggler I know we bitched about it earlier, but now with this development of Swagger and the weed thing from last week, I think this actually opens up a huge door for the WWE to go, well, we don't want to give him the belt, and we feel it's time for Del Rio to drop it, so let's just have Ziggler cash in.
I'll be honest, I'm not ready for Del Rio to drop it.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm ready for him to drop it. I feel like the WWE is gonna be I feel like they're kind of driving towards a bunch of new champions at Mania. Like every couple of years, there's a Mania where almost every belt changes hands, and it kind of is the reset button for the rest of the year.
Man, I just hope that Caitlyn can hold on to the Divas title.
I know there's a lot of stiff competition.
I know. Especially coming from NXT this week.
Is that your segue?
Maybe.
Go for it.
Well, the Divas didn't open up NXT.
Well, they weren't the majority of NXT this time, fortunately.
No, they weren't. But
this one had a cold opening. Basically, you're in the back. You got Dusty Rhodes talking with Bo Dallas, and Corey Graves, who I like, but some things I want to kind of change. But I'll let you elaborate more on that, I guess, if you have anything against him.
I haven't really seen enough to form a real opinion one way or the other yet.
But basically, he comes in with the NXT title and say pretty much, how much he wants it and whatnot. And so Dusty Rhodes, the general manager of NXT, makes a match for number one contendership between Corey Graves, Bo Dallas, and Conor O'Brien. And Corey Graves pretty much looks at Bo Dallas and say, you better stay out of my way, basically.
Yeah, it was. I'm a big fan of the cold opening segments. You don't see them on the shows too often. I guess that's why I probably like them more than I should. And it did pick up right from where last week's episode left off, with Graves stealing the title. So, I understand why they did it. It was fine. But then we go into a match that followed up on a segment from last week as well, with Justin Gabriel and Leo Kruger. And I thought the best aspect of the match were the commentators, because those guys were.
I guess you weren't a fan of the match.
It was all right. I mean, it started off really slow.
Well, in fairness, you can't just have Gabriel run around the ring for that type of match, and Kruger's style is more of ground and pound, anyway.
Yeah, but even for something like that, I mean, this match to me started off with like a 2-minute, rest, headlock exchange and rest holds, which I just thought was, really. I mean,
weird.
Again, yeah, it was just, it was kind of weird, especially when you had these guys, when the feud was being built up last week. The match was being built up last week is, Leo Kruger was coming out to attack his best friend, and I don't know. Again, nothing terrible. To me, I just thought the match started off a little slow. It picked up a lot more toward the end, and Regal really did a good job of, explaining these guys' rivalry. Apparently, they're both from South Africa.
Yeah,
and that was kind of the backstory for those two. So, again, I would say definitely the best match on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once it picked up, Justin Gabriel did win with the 450 splash, and then Leo Kruger knocked him out with one of Tyson Kidd's crutches. So he still kept some heat at the end of the match.
Yeah. By the way, what are your thoughts on this week's play-by-play commentary?
I didn't catch who was the guy with Regal this week.
But
I thought it was fine. I mean, Regal to me is still the big star on that show.
uh-huh.
So,
I'm even though I didn't really show, I'm pretty sure that was Byron Saxton on commentary with Regal.
yeah, I know it was a guy that I had heard before, but every week that I've been watching this show, there's been a different guy on commentary with Regal. So,
Yeah, that doesn't help.
nah. But
Let's see.
but no, I mean with again, I thought it was a pretty good way to start the show. Especially for the type of show that the NXT really is. It definitely has a different and things move at a different speed, has its own different style.
Well, yeah. They have a heel versus heel Divas match this week. Interestingly
Oh
enough.
yeah, this is
Is this your favorite match of the week?
it's by no means the best, but it may have been my favorite because it was so awkward and nonsensical. You could tell like even the commentators really didn't know what to like say or do. I mean, when Oksana is your ring general,
Yeah.
then you've got some splaining to do.
Of course, I want to be as fair as I can be, so I'm going to chalk up everything Emma was doing in the ring. By the way, that's who the other diva was in this ring, as being a part of her character. As she's supposed to be this klutz and whatnot, and she's trying to be a dancer, and she's very bad at it. As she was coming down to the ring, getting into the ring, she was going to do she was going to pull herself up to get into the ring, and she didn't. She just lost her grip and fell, which made she botched it. And then I thought about it, I was like, well, maybe it was actually on purpose.
Yeah, it may have been. I just I don't know. Like everything in this match was just like it just seemed really awkward. Like, and I don't know if a lot of it was intentionally awkward. Oksana did hit a real elbow drop. So she's been working on her elbow drops.
As opposed to fake elbow drops?
Yeah, well, I don't know if you ever saw the video of the...
No, I know what you're talking about.
The elbow drop, yeah. So she's been working on that. But yeah, overall, it was just a really awkward, sloppy, I think funny in the wrong way kind of match.
Yeah.
And Oksana won with a spine buster, making Arn Anderson proud.
Yeah, she did a pretty good spine buster, I thought.
Actually, yeah, that was definitely the high spot of the match.
Then they have a backstage segment where Bo Dallas was quote-unquote taken out. By who? That remains to be seen. But I'm going to put my money on the Wyatt family because of the history between Bo and the head of the Wyatt family. I'm blanking on his name. Bray, yes, thank you.
See, I was going to put my money on Wade Barrett because Bo Dallas smiles all the time and Wade Barrett never does. Telling you, Bo Dallas, he's the new Rocky Maivia. Yeah, you just go out there and smile a lot, kid. They'll love you. But yeah, Bo Dallas was knocked out, so our triple threat main event match for the number one contendership became a one-on-one match between
two heels.
Between the heel Ministry of Darkness Undertaker and the
heel not straight edge Punk Corey Graves.
Yeah, the heel anarchist. Conor O'Brien's really big.
He is really big.
And
Corey Graves is pretty skinny.
Corey Graves is not so big.
So there were a lot of leg holds and submission holds being done in this match.
Yeah, it was pretty, and the crowd was completely dead for this match too. It was just really, I don't know exactly what their plan was here. I don't understand. Like, to me, nothing really clicked with these two. And I think from the little bit that I've seen of Graves, I think he could have something. I've never been impressed with Conor O'Brien.
After 2 weeks, still not.
Yeah. No, I mean, even the little bit of that I used to see him when he was on season 5 of NXT, and I mean, he wears the Undertaker Ministry of Darkness jacket pretty well, I guess. But I'm not sure if that's quite enough to call him up to the main roster. Again, I thought Regal and the commentary team as a whole were great during this match because they were really playing up the importance of being the number one contender and winning the NXT title. And they were saying that once you had the NXT title, you get the fame, and then usually you end up getting the big call up to go to Raw or SmackDown or both shows, which I thought was really good. I mean, it's not like they're trying to pass this show off as being another show on the same level as Raw or SmackDown. They know that they're a minor league setup, and they kind of promote it as such, which was good. During one of the leg holds, the lights went off, and then when the lights came back on, the Shield were in the ring and beating up Conor O'Brien and Corey Graves. And the crowd was so enraged by this, they began chants of "Shield, Shield, Shield, Shield."
That's awesome.
Wait a minute, I thought they were heels.
Apparently they're baby faces on SmackDown or on NXT rather, just like Big E Langston. So yeah, they beat up both of the heels. They gave Corey Graves the triple power bomb. They cut a promo about how you need to believe in the Shield. The crowd's exploding for them the whole time. Babyface pops all over the place, and they leave the ring, and the show fades to black. So lots of confusion. No number one contender. But we did get a Shield sighting, and Oksana learned how to do an elbow drop. So all in all, I give this show a thumbs up.
Yeah. This week he does. Next week.
This is 2 in a row that I've liked.
No, I thought you didn't like last week.
No, last week was... Maybe it was last week.
You didn't like last week.
I didn't like last week. No, last week was an
because of that because of the Big E Langston Conor O'Brien match, which made you have flashbacks of Red and Blue.
Oh yeah, I thought that was 2 weeks. Yeah, you're right.
Because you were chalking that down as a worst match of the year candidate.
It was pretty awful. Yeah, I'm thinking of the show with the NXT Tag Title Finals, which I liked.
Yeah,
but no, this show I thought was fine. You're you're milking the number one contender spot. You moving some characters up the echelon, and so it was. It was cool. William Regal still steals the show every week that I watch it.
Yeah.
What did you think of NXT, Timothy?
I want to see Leo Kruger get a little more polish on him. He's someone I think should be on the main roster soon. I really do. That's what I think.
Yeah, I guess I could see them making that type of move after Mania. If you need to bring some guys up.
Plus, as little as it may mean, he was a former FCW champion. Just saying.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, I don't know either.
It's Flash. It's Flash Championship Wrestling. It's the company that's owned by Flash Funk. And Leo Kruger was so funky that they couldn't help but give him the title.
Oh, he is so crazy.
Yeah, at least that's what I always thought.
I'm with you.
So SmackDown.
It was a show.
SmackDown was a show.
It was. Always with the tease.
Yeah.
Always teasing people on how you feel about it. Well, SmackDown opened up with our World Heavyweight Champion and Alberto Del Rio in a match against Damian Sandow.
Here's a real quick question. Since I didn't get a chance to catch SmackDown, I just want to know one thing. Overall, if SmackDown was the only WWE show on television this week, or this past week, would you have known it was a show building towards WrestleMania?
I was going to say, not in the slightest.
That's what I was curious about.
Yeah. And not in the slightest.
It really seems like that SmackDown has meetings with their writers where they're like, so, what are we writing on our show to build up towards WrestleMania? It's like, we'll get there.
Oh, we had these Raw flashbacks for you.
Just re-air the Cena CM Punk match.
Just have everything have a nice blue tint to it, so it looks like it's on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yes. And have the match called by JBL and Josh Matthews.
Well, this week, Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler were on commentary with Josh Matthews.
What?
Because Josh Matthews done pissed some people off.
Or JBL's getting ready for his climb. I don't know. Pick your poison.
Yeah, that's probably more like it, but it's not as much fun.
But I'll get into Jerry Lawler later.
Oh, do we have to?
But yeah, well, Alberto Del Rio and Jobber to the Stars, Damien Sandow, had what I thought was actually a pretty good opening TV match.
They really did.
Yeah, Sandow got a lot of offense in. Cole and Lawler were putting Sandow over for hanging with the champion so well. So, all in all, it was a good match. I don't know. Sandow's one of those guys where I think they could and should be doing a lot more with him than they are.
But they're not.
So I guess if they're still going to keep him on television, yeah.
At least put a microphone in his hand and let him speak.
Yeah.
Which he does very well.
Yeah. So
I'm just pretty glad that he's advancing his solo career, his singles career.
Yeah.
Well, he's searching for his apprentice.
I mean, the unfortunate thing with guys like that around this time, where the majority of the focus is going to be building up towards WrestleMania climaxes, guys like Sandow, they're not gonna make any form of newfangled push for him before Mania.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, those guys are kind of all those, Sandow, Kota Rhodes.
By the way, I think Cody Rhodes
Johnston
should be turned to face soon.
Think who?
Cody Rhodes should be turned face soon.
That could work.
I could see that. But that's just it. But you're right, Brian. Like all those guys right now. I mean, they've got nothing going on, and I don't see them changing that. And
it really hurts guys like Rose and Sandow when the two mid-card belts are also being held by heels.
Yeah.
It really sucks for them.
Yeah, so those guys are all, they're all just kind of stuck in between a rock and a hard place right now. Speaking of rock and a hard place, we got a promo segment with Kane and Daniel Bryan.
Who end up doing role reversal.
Yeah, so this week, Kane's going to be blindfolded, and Daniel Bryan's going to have an arm tied behind his back. And I just thought, because you couldn't humiliate the primetime players enough on Monday, you kind of have to.
You liked it once, let's do it twice.
Yeah, exactly. So, so we got teased with that. We did get, which I was surprised. I thought they were going to do this at Mania.
Yeah, which confuses me.
Yeah, did they hype this up at all?
As far as I know, they hyped it up as of that show.
Okay, because I didn't remember hearing anything about this.
Yeah.
But we were given a best of 3 falls for the United States title with Antonio Cesaro and The Miz.
In a very good match, by the way.
Yeah, good match. Cesaro wins the first fall with the neutralizer. Miz wins the second fall with the figure 2.5. And then the third fall, which, again, I thought the commentary on this show was really good, too.
Yeah.
They were putting it over as sudden death.
And the fact these two are an actual rivalry.
Yeah. I thought they actually did a pretty good job with that.
And I do like the finish too, because it shows that the Miz is an actual threat to Antonio Cesaro.
Yeah, they do a couple roll-up reversals, and Cesaro holds onto the trunks, and the referee doesn't see it, so Cesaro wins and retreats off to the back, holding onto the belt and celebrating. And Miz was in the ring, looking very much like a sad panda.
Yeah. Jim Ross comes out for his segment with Swagger and Coulter. By the way, they're in Oklahoma, so of course Jim Ross is going to be there.
Yeah.
And this time, nothing bad happens to him.
No. Except for he was put into a pretty lame segment. Other than that, nothing bad really happened to him. This is the best. This is the best homecoming for Jim Ross probably ever, and that's counting his time in WCW.
It is.
So yeah, I mean, it was, but yeah, it really came down to Ross was talking about how long he's known Swagger and how he recruited him to the University of Oklahoma, and they've never always seen eye to eye, especially when Jack Swagger was teaming up with Michael Cole and beating up Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler every week. But that's really, and then he called Zeb Coulter an idiot. That's really as much as I remember from this segment.
You idiot.
He also said something in Spanish. I don't know what the word was. I didn't understand it. I'm going to assume called him an asshole or a very nice gentleman, or that he has a or he has a very nice beard.
Yeah, that's right. Del Rio came out and he pretty much continues where he left off, and I think he calls him a jackass, and I don't know. This is a program that I was really excited for at first.
I still am, actually, because the fact that you haven't seen Del Rio and Swagger actually go at it.
That's true, but just from the storyline, the booking standpoint, it seems like this is going to be an angle that's more for media attention than it is going to be for actual.
Well, yeah, with the whole Glenn Beck stuff and whatnot, that's going to help this angle really.
Yeah,
and
I think at this point a lot of that stuff's kind of blown over, though.
No, because Monday, WWE had posted a video where Michael Cole went to visit Glenn Beck's studios in Texas, and pretty much he got turned away at the door. And, when I watched that video, all I could think is you know what? I think Michael Cole could take Glenn Beck.
Yeah, I don't know. I've lost a lot of interest in this angle, which is, it sucks because, I would like to have seen this be, really interesting and really go somewhere, but I don't know. It just seems to be at least at best they're in a holding pattern, and at worst they have no idea what they're going to do.
I think the best is to come, really.
Oh, you mean like Sin Cara and Heath Slater wrestling?
Was that a match?
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that match.
Actually, you know what? That may have been a match that they ended up cutting from the show.
I think it was. Because
we had to make room for the handicap tag match where you had a blind guy and a guy with one arm fighting two able-bodied men.
Now this time, Kane's wearing a mask, and conveniently enough, Kane is wearing a mask that has a goat face on it. So let the comedy begin.
Yeah.
But also, most importantly, this time the primetime players made it a win.
They did make it a win because Kane can't tell the difference between Daniel Bryan and Titus O'Neil, apparently, even though he's blind. So, even in a match where his partner is blind, Daniel Bryan still takes the pin, and then Kane gets really mad when he sees the goat face on his mask.
Well, why not? Why wouldn't he get mad for that?
I don't know. I would figure with all the other stuff that these guys have been through, like, I don't think the goat face on the mask would really be that big of a deal. But apparently it was, because Kane hugged Daniel Bryan. Well, Daniel Bryan was trying to get Kane to hug him. And Kane put the mask on him instead, put the blindfold on Daniel Bryan instead, and then punched him and rolled out.
Yep. Matt Striker does an interview with Big Show. Nobody cares. That's mainly because Big Show has a match with Randy Orton later in the night. So then Matt Striker has another interview with
Go.
Make sure you're breathing the A.
I was. Don't tell me I wasn't. Because I was.
I didn't breathe the second one. I admit it. But
I
yeah,
like this segment.
This segment I thought was really funny. Fandango was telling Matt Striker, he was trying to get Matt Striker to pronounce his name correctly, and Matt Striker was, failing as usual. So Fandango says that he's not going to make his debut until Matt Striker gets his name right. And then kind of waltzes off.
And then Jerry Lawler on commentary is like, "What? He's the whole reason I came to this show tonight."
I know.
And it's like, well,
which is
see
funny,
you later.
Because Lawler is notoriously known for not watching any programming outside of the Raws and the pay-per-views where he's at. So I thought that was funny, and then I didn't even know that I never saw anything about Fandango being hyped up for having his debut this week anyway.
They said it Monday and last week, I'm pretty sure.
Did they? I might have fast forwarded.
Yeah, on Monday they mentioned there's a little tagline at the bottom of his logo or whatever.
Okay. See, I fast forward through. I count those as part of the commercial breaks now. So.
The Fandango promos.
Yeah,
Shows
because
how,
they've all been the same.
Shows how much you're looking forward to Fandango.
I was looking forward to more Fandango, not the same Fandango.
Well, he's looking forward to the Fandango so he'd get tickets for Jack the Giant Slayer.
You can do better.
Well, so far I have been able to dodge the bullet that is movie 43. Just because no other theaters down here are showing it.
I was going to say, you're not dodging it. You just can't find anywhere to see it.
I know. I can't jump in front of it. I guess that's a little bit different than dodging it.
Yes. By the way, as a real quick, completely unrelated thing, congratulations on being 3 years in a row predicting the Best Picture.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. It's pretty easy when most of the years you're only having a 1 or a 2 horse race. Mm-hmm. So I can't take all the credit, but yes, I also want to thank Timothy as well for biting the bullet with me and undertaking that movie watching extravaganza. 'Cause 9 movies is a lot.
It is. Thinking about it, while you guys were going over SmackDown, my brain was sitting here processing what could possibly be the mid-card portion of the Mania card. And outside of Kane and Daniel Bryan seeming like a lock, and maybe Sheamus and Wade Barrett, I really have no idea what could fill the rest of the show.
You're going to get something with Antonio Cesaro and The Miz. I'm going to guarantee that.
I'm going to guarantee that at the very least, Cesaro's on the show.
But outside of that, I got nothing.
It just makes me really disappointed that they're not going to have Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio. Because even though I guess you can consider Sin Cara a flop and everything, I still would have liked to see that match as a Mania match. I think it would have been one to get the crowd hot.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can still use that match. Really, if you have a pay-per-view where you're short a match or something, or if you want to build up something between the two of them, I think you can do that and have a nice little one-off.
Yeah.
I don't know if you necessarily need it at Mania, but there certainly have been worse WrestleMania matches. Just look at WrestleMania 9.
Yeah, there have been worse, and I guess it loses its momentum when it's not. I guess they really wanted to use it as like the passing of the torch of Rey Mysterio passing his popularity and being like the big Mexican babyface over to Sin Cara. Since Sin Cara isn't really getting over, but I'm not 100% sure how much of that is Sin Cara's fault and how much of that is the fact that WWE just doesn't put him on television.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're waiting for El Generico, so Mysterio can pass the torch on to him.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, go on.
No, so I think El Generico could be, really good as the Mexican, superstar babyface.
I think
make sure you put Mexican in quotes.
I think he could just be good as a babyface that kids can really get behind and buy merchandise for.
Yeah, I think so.
You get his masks, you get his capes, you get shirts that say Olay. I mean,
Yeah, I really think. Yeah, I think a lot of that marketing is really going to take care of itself.
Yeah. But I don't know. Like, I'm just sitting here trying to piece it together. I know they're going to do something with Jericho, and the popular thing is Ziggler. I would kind of think, and because I think this is cool, it will not happen. I think it would kind of be cool if, like in previous WrestleManias, they kicked it off with the World Heavyweight title match, had Ziggler come down, cash in, and then all of a sudden his match with Jericho is a world title match. So, like, 2 times in, like, you have 2 world title matches and a WWE title match all in one night.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That would be a cool thing. Like, that would be cool for me to...
And you know what that means?
Not gonna happen.
Never gonna happen.
It means that Ziggler is going to open the show, get squashed, and then the world title match will happen, and that's about it.
Yep, pretty much.
So, but yeah, I'm just kind of lost as to what the mid card is going to be, and there really isn't any mid card matches that I'm like, oh man, they should really put that together. It would be awesome.
Well, okay, all right, well, how about a match that you've never seen before, like Randy Orton versus The Big Show, something that's never happened, not once.
Is that a rumored match?
That was the main event on SmackDown.
It was the main event on SmackDown.
Oh.
Also, also punctuated by a Shield run-in, which got a babyface pop from me, even not the rest of the crowd. But then,
because you can only deal with so much Orton's bland.
Yeah,
Guy's so bland.
But Sheamus came out, and they were having a 3-on-2 beatdown, and the Shield was getting the upper hand until Roman Reigns was pushed into the Big Show. The Big Show punches Roman Reigns in the face, and
he clocked him good too.
Yeah, knocks him out. So
and the Shield's like, "Nah, I had enough of this."
Yeah, like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Big Show."
I'm sorry, Mr. Big Show.
So they take Roman Reigns off, and then Sheamus celebrates in the ring, and his music hits because he was the last guy to leave the ring.
Well, that's because Big Show clocked Orton, and then Sheamus kicked Big Show.
Yeah. So maybe that's what you'll have. Maybe you'll have like Sheamus versus Orton versus Big Show, and then the Shield. Or those 3 will be a triple threat match with each other, and then the Shield will wrestle Conor O'Brien and Corey Graves and Bo Dallas
At Mania. Who are these guys? We don't care. They're fighting the Shield.
And look, that guy who fought Wade Barrett, he's smiling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could, as far as like the Shield goes and what's going on with Sheamus and them, I could see them either having Sheamus and Orton have a legend team with them on Monday, or I could see it turning into a WrestleMania match where the third person on their team is Big Show. Like, I don't like you guys, but I don't like these guys interfering in my matches. I have no problem knocking them out, and then Just have Big Show turn on his teammates because, after all, he's a heel, and Shield beats the three of them again. Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm sure they'll figure it out. And hopefully they put together some pretty cool mid-card matches to make WrestleMania 29 a worthwhile experience. That's all I want.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to go down there. The one thing I'm not excited to be a part of is their attempt at the world's biggest Harlem Shake.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that.
I will
but then
not.
I didn't.
I will not get up.
I will. I'm
You
gonna
will?
shift over to a random spot dancing with a horse head on. I'm practicing.
Oh, I got nothing else to add for this show.
Fair enough. I still haven't figured out polls yet, so we're not going to do anything this week either.
Well, can we just have one poll and only one answer for best match of the week?
Sure.
Eric Young wins. That is your poll.
Nope. Wait, what does Eric Young win?
He wins.
What does he win?
He wins.
If you give me something that he wins, then maybe I'll go along with this.
No, because you'll turn it down. So he just wins.
Well, I'm turning down the fact that he just wins.
Oh, and Helmick, it was Tony Dawson. I found out it was Tony Dawson on commentary
Tony Dawson wins.
on NXT.
Yeah. Best match of the week, Tony Dawson versus his headset. I don't know. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow night we will be back for the Digital Reload live and talking about game franchises, and I'm sure stuff about PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royal, since I got that this weekend. I know it's super late, so it's not going to be like a review or anything, but hey, why not discuss it? And maybe some other stuff, as this is the week of Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider will be out on Tuesday, so that will certainly be an exciting development in the world of gaming. So yeah, we'll have that. Plus whatever whatever shenanigans we have.
I just realized my mic was muted. I'm sorry.
Way to go, buddy.
Yeah.
Good job, man.
You know what? I do what I can.
You do. So, yep, next week will be yet another normal show. For the Chinlock, we will discuss Old School Raw, the latest developments of NXT, and find out if SmackDown ever realizes that WrestleMania is coming.
Well, I think they realize it because they have all those Raw flashbacks every week.
No, I think the production truck realizes it, not
Yeah.
SmackDown.
Well, I don't know. Maybe JBL and Josh Matthews just figure we're not going to be calling WrestleMania. Why even bother talking about it?
JBL probably will.
Yeah, he probably will. But Josh Matthews won't.
No.
And that's kind of sad.
JBL should just be should just be ribbing the show every week, saying like, "Man, can't wait to find out what's happening with all of our great SmackDown superstars at WrestleMania."
Yeah. Indeed.
Like, what's Alberto Del Rio doing? I don't know. He's too busy promoting it on Raw. Is Antonio Cesaro on WrestleMania card yet? Nope. Oh, okay. What are we going to do? He's just going to wrestle The Miz every week.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yes. It's no problem. No problem at all. But, ladies and gentlemen, hope you enjoyed the show. We'll be back next week. And, See y'all later.
Laters.
Bye.
Maybe, I guess.